We're talking engine slingers again, engine lift brackets, whatever you want to call them, right? So I received the official ones from Infiniti, aka Nissan, and this right here, this set over here is for the M56. It also works on the FX50, which is cool. These ones here are for the SUVs, so the Armada, QX56, QX80. I only managed to buy one thing from the QX80. Can't remember. Yeah, the last one down there. So the rest of these are for the QX56. And let's talk about lift points. The QX56, the older ones, the older SUVs, just like the M45. This is our M45 engine. I could not get those brackets for the M45. They have lift brackets or lift points here on the front left of the engine, on the back right of the engine, and using this triangular thing, they have another one back here. Nice, right? Well, we've already talked about the M45. The M45 has a lift point here and a lift point back there. When it comes to the newer engines, the VK56 VD, the one that was used in the M56, as well as the QX80, it gets a little quirky. One, the lift point is here in the front and on the other side in the front as well. Cool, makes sense. However, the SUV also has another lift bracket in the back. Why it does, I really can't figure it out, because if you think about it, an all-wheel drive M56 will be pretty much the same drivetrain as a QX80 all-wheel drive, right? Because it's just the same VK56 VD, a transmission, and a transfer case. I don't think it would be any heavier, but somehow they saw it fit to have a third point in the back. And so when I get to playing with the VK56 VD engines, I hope I'll be able to see maybe the SUV bracket will work back there too. I don't know. But today's discussion is mainly to do with using the M56 brackets on the M45 engine, right? The VK45DE. So right off the bat, this bracket here, it bolts right on. And since I need my other hand, I can't really demonstrate that. But the bolt pattern works, which is cool. But you'll notice here, I'll keep hitting that intake tube. So just remove it. I mean, it's not such a big deal. Just remove the intake tube and, install this. I like how tall they, how high they sit. So you don't really have to interfere with anything else when you set your hook on. However, my design, as you can see, is a little more low profile. And you can install it here without really interfering with much else, at least on the way in, right? On the way out, you got to figure out, make sure your hoist or your chain does not break anything else over here on the way up. All right, then we'll jump to the right side of the engine. Remember, this one on the M56 is usually installed at the front, but in the M45 it's in the back. So right here, once again, the bolt pattern works, which is cool, and I like how high or how far this sits. See how tall the bracket is, which is cool. So, I mean, could you use these brackets on the M45, right? They can bolt on, but the reality, or rather the hard part, is getting them, making them usable while the engine is still in the car. So let's check this out. This one here, we're seeing the bolt, the threaded holes are here and here. So just maybe half an inch off to these two bolts. Cool. And then on this side, this bolt right here. So an inch on each side of this bolt. Okay, that'll make sense. I'll remember that. So let's go test this one out on the car. All right, so this is the engine bay of an M45. This is a 2008. The other ones are a little more spacious and they're set up a little differently. But for 2006 through 2010, can you use the left side? Yeah, I mean, it's a little tight in there, but I feel like you can use it, right? As I said, it's just half an inch to the left of these two bolts over there. I think you can install it. And as you can see, you got a lot more space over here once you remove this intake tube, right? Makes sense. So the challenge is the back side. So look at this. We're gonna snake this bracket in here. There you go. Remember that one bolt? That bolt right there that's reflecting? We want it to be kind of in the middle. All right. So I'm gonna set this here for now. And I'll actually tell you what happened. So you can kind of try to install it. But the problem is, so I'm already, my finger right now is already on the thread, the first threaded hole. And I can feel how far it's gonna be. Do you see this white part here? There's some interference. This white clip is a bracket that holds the fuel lines, and that's gonna be in the way of this bracket here. I think it will kind of clear, but there's already that interference there. So that is a challenge of using this in the engine bay. It's gonna be a little tough. You know, you don't really have as much space to do it. So again, I'm not saying I'm a better designer than whoever designed these brackets for Nissan, but the advantage of mine is that, well, it doesn't need this channel here, doesn't need the bracing of this U channel, right? It's kind of a wide U channel. For one, my brackets are twice as thick as the official Nissan bracket, so you don't need that bend. And as you notice, this bend right there is what was banging on the white clip, right? So if you use mine, this one here, let me get a free one. Probably won't fit perfectly, but again, I have the advantage of height. So let's try to install this, see how it looks. Again, we're gonna be objective here. No cheating. There you go. Well, I guess you need to move this wire harness over here from there. But mine being shorter kind of allows you to install it. Look at that. See, it kind of slides through. All right. Kind of allows you to do that. This white thing is so brittle. But yeah, there you go. Hope that kind of makes sense. Once the engine is out of the engine bay, I mean, you could do all kinds of stuff with it, but oh wow, I guess that's all. You know what? I suppose you could just break it off, then it doesn't matter, right? I'm gonna have to buy that bracket. I don't like things being loose. Well, got a little interrupted over there. But basically, I was saying, I hope this video kind of makes sense, you know, shows you what you can and cannot do. As I was trying to say, or I might be repeating this, that once the engine is outside the engine bay, you can do a lot of things. Like this one, as I said, this is the M56 bracket. One of the Armada, this one right here, the QX56. This is the beginning one, the very first production. This is supposed to go to the back, but you can actually use this right here as well. So there are many iterations of Nissan bolt patterns that you can use. You'll notice the ones for the side though, they're like a step up, step down type deal. So this one here is a QX56, the rear one. This one here is the QX80. This one here is a QX56 one, right? Yes. And these bolt patterns are the same, just a little difference in height. But yeah, I hope that kind of makes sense, right? As to what is going on over here. You can buy the official Nissan ones, or you could buy the ones that I make, which might be a little more practical for somebody doing the project at home. Again, why do you need your engine slingers once the engine is already removed, right? So yeah, there you go. That's the continuation of the first video I made on brackets. So again, if you're interested in buying brackets from me, let me know. Let's make an order. Add your name to the list, and we'll get you some nice practical brackets. And I wish you all the best with your projects.